As a parent, the most important words you say are to your children. But be careful. They might be listening. In fact, while you think they do not hear you at all, they might be listening at some of the most unfortunate times. The witticisms that you haphazardly spew forth could come back to haunt you. I provide 3 stories of my children to prove this point, that while we think they cannot hear us, they are in fact listening to us. An email from my college-aged daughter regarding the discovery of 17 new pyramids that are buried underneath the sand. And I quote, "Remember when I was little and I told you at the dinner table that I wanted to be an Egyptologist, and you told me that I couldn't be one because everything there was to find had already been found in Egypt, and that I would starve to death." And so begins my saga of being reminded of every misspoken idea, criticism, or witticism that I have ever had the misfortune to utter. I have ruled my kingdom like a dictator, and I have 3 rules for my children to protect my daughters from the world. Rule number 1, kissing leads to babies. For almost everyone in this room, your parents kissed at one time or another before you were born. There is my causality. Rule number 2, how can you tell a boy is lying? His lips are moving. You will all agree with me, that boys only want one thing, and for the women in the room, you've all met a boy who would say anything to get that one thing. Rule number 3, men are pigs. We all know the environment that men create where they live. Having set the bar so high with Rule 1 and Rule 2, I need to lower it with Rule number 3 so that my daughters are not disappointed and I end up with the all-important grandchildren to keep my wife happy. You would think, having uttered these rules numerous times, that my daughter has blown them off. She has applied the rules far more creatively than I could ever imagine in this new age of the internet boyfriend. She's met her boyfriend one time under carefully chaperoned conditions. Rule 1 has been abided by. She only talks to her boyfriend on the internet. Lies told through the internet have far less consequences when you can't meet each other. Rule 2. And finally, when you only see your boyfriend through the flat panel, you don't know what he looks like or what his grooming hazards are. So we've met with Rule 3, low expectations that have been unfulfilled. But having abided by these rules, I have a bigger problem that I could have never imagined. The concept of an intercontinental romance that could lead to a wedding halfway around the world. So, you don't think your children are listening to you. We're in the doctor's office one day for my son to get a checkup. And the doctor haphazardly asks him, "How do you like your sisters?" He has 2. And he says, "I like Carolyn. She is the fun sissy." So the doctor asked JP, "What about your other sister?" "I do not like Kelly." Doctor's intrigued. "Why do you not like Kelly?" My son matter-of-factly replies, "Because she is scary sissy." Okay, the doctor pulls the thread. Why is she a scary sissy? because she is a vampire. And the doctor's like, what is going on here? John Paul, how do you know she's a vampire? She has fangs. The doctor looks to my wife inquiring as to what is going on here, and wife nods yes, she's got larger dog teeth than most of us. So the doctor keeps going on. Does that make her a vampire? And JP replies, yes, she sucks the fun out of everything. This seemingly harmless discourse comes from the fact that I gave my daughters each a nickname. The eldest I've always called Fun Sissy, because her concept of watching her brother is to give him everything he wants so he'll leave her alone. So she's Fun Sissy. And Kelly, Scary Sissy, is a dictator of one person, her brother. Hence, I am reaping what I have sown. The final evidence that your kids are listening to you comes from a discourse that happens quite frequently in my house aimed at me. Dad, you'd better be nice to us because we pick your nursing home. I look at them rather matter-of-factly and I say, no, you don't get to pick my nursing home. Your mother's going to kill me. Refer back to rule number 3. Mr. Toastmaster.